Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Farming Valley. So, since last episode, I did a bit of mining, and got a bit of resources built up, and today we're going to start working in the factory a little bit. We'll probably do just a tad bit of speed building here in just a little bit. I will say that tomorrow, game day, yeah, this is still cooking up. Tomorrow game day, I think I'm probably going to have to harvest pumpkins, so I will have to cut for a little bit for that. Actually, one thing I want to do before that happens is let me grab a piece of this, and let's pop over to the blacksmith shop. Because I've had him working on some tools. He got our axe, well, it's put up in a chest. He got our axe repaired, and then there we go. Finished working on your gold hoe. Okay. I got that repaired, and then I would like to get him to repair our sickle. Alright, so we should be all situated. So probably after I harvest the pumpkins, we'll probably do just a brief amount of speed building just to put the bricks that we have up here. I do have some steel made up, some steel plates, and some steel ingots, but we're not going to use that for speed building. We're going to be using it probably today, assuming that we get as far as I would like to. So my goal today is we're going to start moving into a little bit of power inside of this factory, kind of as the factory is building, just because I want to start getting in here and I want to start getting into some of the stuff that we're going to be doing in here. That's perfect. That is perfect right here. Then if I put that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, that will be good. I like that. I like that. I like that a bunch. Alright, let me trim something back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I tell you what, I'm actually going to bring it up. Oh, yeah, I tell you what. I'm going to change up my original plan slightly. Let me pull up, like, this. And I will say, whenever we're setting up these thermoelectric setups, they're not going to be the most efficient design. And that's because I want it to look good. And going with the most efficient design tends to not look the best. So we're going to be going with something that's not quite as efficient today, but we're going to be setting thermoelectric power up here. Okay, that is my goal. So let's go. Let's see. Well, I really need the shops to open is what I need, because to start producing thermoelectric power and doing our thermoelectric setup, we are going to need to make some of these. I'm going to have to get Constantan, which I don't believe the blacksmith sells it, but he does sell nickel and copper. And I'm going to need quite a bit of that, quite a bit of steel. I will say, once the setup is done, it's going to produce quite a bit of power. It's not going to be our only source of power, but it is going to produce quite a bit of power. And I want this little area back in here to be our thermoelectric setup. Okay, and that concrete there in the middle is going to end up going. There's going to be no concrete in that section, but for right now, that will work. But let's see, while we're waiting on that, I do want to pop over to the workshop building. And I want to see exactly how much nickel that we have in there, because I know we've been getting nickel from, I think it's the iron. Whenever it crushes up, there's a chance that it produces nickel. Because honestly, I think we probably have enough that we won't have to buy any nickel. We'll just have to buy copper. And actually, I've got copper, now that I think about it. I think I bought up a bunch of copper. We have 42 nickel. That's going to be more than enough. So I'll tell you what, let me pop over here and let me grab some copper out of here. Honestly, I think the biggest thing that's going to be holding us back is steel. In truth, because I've been using so much of it for building. And I know we can do an improved blast furnace, but I'm probably just going to wait until we hit the... Oh, I only have 2 copper. Never mind. Never mind. I've got to wait for the store to open to get that. Now, there's 2 other things that we're going to want. We are going to want to get... For the thermoelectric power, of course, you can use water, lava. I'm going to be using uranium for our heat source. And this stuff we can buy at the blacksmith. And then for our cold source, I'm going to use packed ice, which we can create through Botania. By taking ice, and ice is actually fairly easy to create with Botania, so we're going to use Botania to create that. Where did I put the, there it is. And we're going to go ahead and make like 32 snow, and then we'll turn that into 32 ice, and then 32 packed ice from there. Because the thermoelectric generator produces power based on hot and cold sources next to it, and you can just go water and lava. Produces, I don't know, it's a little bit, but if you go with like packed ice and uranium blocks, it produces like 7 or 8 RF more. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up pretty quick. So we're going to go with that. Grab all this. Does this thing have... Yeah, it has silk touch. That's awesome. Okay. We'll just put this down next to our pure daisies. By the way, to get the ice, I was using the conjuration catalyst. Or alchemy catalyst, I mean. Oh, whoops. Slight problem there. Okay, I'm just going to cover that up for right now. And I need to put the pure daisy back down in the middle of this one. Alright, this one over here has changed over. I'm going to wait until this other one changes over. It's the worst thing about ice, is it does that. Okay, let me go. I meant to sleep before this day. Okay, I don't have pumpkins. Awesome. And I just harvested tomatoes, so we don't have those. And I don't think we'll have onions today either. So I think we're okay. I can only assume that it was probably the sun coming up. It's possible it could be that lantern there that caused the ice to mess up. But I think it was probably the sun. And don't we have a pickaxe, like just an individual pickaxe that has silk touch, I think? Yeah, this one right here. So we'll just pop down here and grab our packed ice. There's snow there. Okay, there we go. I'll let that set for a minute. We've got 10 packed ice. There we go. It's starting to break that first, or change that first one over. That'll work. And then I'll come back here in a second. I'll get the rest of that packed ice. But honestly, we've got enough right now that we can start with this. Plus the shops are opening. So if we take a look at thermoelectric generator, we're going to need constantan, we're going to need steel, we're going to need copper coil block, which is purchased at the general store. So let's go ahead and get a few of these copper coil blocks. And I'm actually going to buy quite a few of them because we use these things for a lot of stuff. Oh, my boots broke too. So copper coil block, let's go ahead and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's go on ahead and get 20 of them. I've got plenty of money. I'm not too concerned about money. Okay. It's going to be more than we're using today, but we will, because we also use those for the transformers, right? Oh, no, it was the kinetic dynamo that we used it for, not the transformers. But okay, well, we've got that, and then let's go ahead to the blacksmiths, and we're going to pick up just a couple other little things here. And he's finished our golden sickle, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Oh, he's not open on Thursdays. Well, that kind of shoots that plan in the foot. But our bricks are done, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these. And let me go get our steel that we need. Because we're going to need to... Well, I need the steel ingots, but I also need the steel plates. Because we're going to use the steel plates for building and start, you know, setting this thing up and kind of a little bit of the decorative work here. So I've got 54 steel plates right here. And let's see where we're at on steel. I know this stuff's... 17 and 11 coal coke. Okay. Let's put that back in there. And we'll go ahead and start some of the decorative aspect of this while we wait for the shop to open so, you know, we can get the copper and the uranium and stuff that we need. And we'll go ahead and start placing out some of the packed ice that we're going to need for this as well. But I just figure I want to start getting some stuff in our factory. You know, we've already put a lot of time and effort into this factory. I want to get started in here. And we're going to start in this back room, which will be our initial power generation stuff. So kind of what I'm thinking is right in here. Let me actually pull this up. Let me grab that cobblestone. I tell you what, I guess I'm going to use the rusted blocks. In my test world, I was using steel sheet metal, but I think it would look better with those rusted blocks that we're using for the supports throughout here. So yeah, we're gonna switch over my design, use this. Plus, it kind of fits in more, and it fits in with the supports that we have running through the factory. Okay, we'll just kind of bring that up, and then over here, I also want to bring it up. Let me pull this up, this up, this up. And then what we're going to do is right in here, and this is actually going to make the build come together very, very nicely. Because I was wanting a support here anyways. Guess what? We're going to do like this. There we go. There's our slow fall. Okay, so we kind of got our supports put in, and this is going to cause this to match up very, very nicely. And then, you know, we can run a support up on this side as well. Like right in there. Okay, so we got something like that. And then right in here, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. And we're going to replace that as well with our rusty plates. And then for this next part, I'm going to need, let's see, I need a saw. And I think I know I have one somewhere. But it's not in here, it's over at the house. Okay. I'm going to leave the bike here, in fact. And I am just going to teleport to the storage building. So let's get our diamond bit saw, and then I think that's everything. And then we should go back up to the factory. Okay, so what I have in mind is... Oh, wait, there is one other thing I'm going to need. Whoops, whoops, whoops. That's fine. I'll get it in a second. First up, on the railings, I want to make some just factory rusted plate plain balustrades. And honestly, one craft of this makes 10. I think that'll be good. I just want to run like a little fence along through here. Give me my chisel. My inventory's like already shot. It doesn't take but a second, I swear, in this pack. Okay, I want to get one of those, and let me put some of this stuff away here. Okay, let's cut one of these down. We don't really need many of these, so we'll just cut like one of these, and then we'll cut it again. There we go. There's 16 of those. And all I want to do with this is, let's rotate it. There we go. I'm just going to place it down along through here. So we kind of have like a caution border. Because we're going to be running power through this, and we're going to have like cables and stuff like that. So we kind of want it to be like, kind of cautioned off, like don't enter this area kind of a thing. And then what I want to do, let's see, we're going to have a ceiling up here, right? That kind of runs along like a little walkway area. So I will say that this is probably going to go ahead and continue upstairs. We're going to have these really tall, like almost like reactors inside of here. Is kind of what I'm thinking. But we are going to go ahead and segment this for the first and second floor, because the walkway is going to connect over to this. So we'll have it segmented so you can kind of, once you're upstairs, you can just kind of look down. There's not going to be like a walkway upstairs. It's just going to be like open and kind of going through. But I do want to kind of segment this so that it matches up really nicely. So what I'm thinking is we are going to we'll bring this pillar up like that, and then we'll bring the pillar across, or the rusted plate that we're using to kind of segment that, and then we'll bring our plain balustrade over here as well. Let me go grab a little bit more of that, and then we'll also bring our caution stuff over. Just like that. Okay, so we kind of have like this little cautioned off area, like, you know, restricted, authorized personnel only kind of a thing. Okay, now let me pop down. I actually want to get a chest for this building really, really quickly. Because I've got so much stuff going on up in the factory, and I need like these little basic necessity of life kind of things. These pigs drive me insane. We'll throw that down right there. Throw our crafting table down right there. Then I can dump all these like decorative blocks and stuff that we're using at the moment into here. And then what did it take to make the hempcrete? It was clay and hemp, right? 3 and 6. Okay. Let me pop back down here real quick, because I'm going to need a bit more of that hempcrete. And I do have some clay. I don't know how much. I only have 3 pieces. Okay, let me actually pop up here and get our bicycle real quick. Okay, I just want to get a bit of clay to make hempcrete with, because we're kind of using hempcrete as like a divider. There's something zombie. We kind of got like some narrated building going on today. This is how I do it on Staxel. Let me know in the comments if you guys prefer it this way or anything. I'm gonna leave that there for now. I'm not for sure what I'm gonna do there. If you guys prefer it this way, because I mean I can't always change it. I know it's well received on Staxel, so if you like more narrated stuff, we can do that. Just let me know. Alright, but anyways, I'm going to change all this stuff over to hempcrete, because I actually quite like the way this hempcrete looks. Okay, and that center block, I may actually turn that into glowstone, possibly. Possibly, I think so. Okay, let me think. I just realized something. I just thought of something here. Okay, I changed my plan a little bit. Slightly. Ever so slightly. Because my original design actually only had one of these pillars, and then I started to set this up and I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm not going to be able to do wire connectors on both sides, but then I changed it. I changed my plan a little bit. It's actually going to produce a lot of power for all 4 of these. Especially if we do a second floor. I'm not for sure if we'll do another floor above this that's producing power. But in this pack, I mean, with immersive engineering being our primary source of power and machines and stuff, we might as well go big, right? Whenever we set this stuff up, we might as well go pretty big. So we're going to be producing quite a bit of power. Not 100% sure if I'm going to do it on the second floor or not. Okay, so let me pop down to the storage building. I'm actually going to go ahead and just sleep. And let me go check on the fields. I've got a bunch of shopping to do today, quite a bit. And pumpkins, corn, oh man, I'm going to be harvesting like all the day. I'll be harvesting the whole day away. Oh, and my water's off. Awesome. Even better. Okay, so I'll be back in a while. In just a little while. Okay, I've harvested all the pumpkins. I've almost harvested all the corn, and onions came in as well. So I am going to have to... whoops, that's the wrong... This one here. Okay, I'm going to need onion seeds. And then I also spent a bit of money. You'll notice we have less than 200,000. I bought 9 stacks of uranium ingots. I also bought a stack of lead, a stack of copper, a stack of silver. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just combine this together. We're going to get 2 stacks of electrum. And then let's go ahead and get our nickel and copper combined to get our constantan. I'll leave that there. Okay, and I want to go get this smelted. This will be one of the last times we're going to use coal, or, well, one of the last times. Pretty soon we're not going to be using coal for smelting anymore, so, pretty soon. Okay, but I'm going to get that stuff smelting up, and I'll be back once I get, once I get all this stuff harvested. It'll probably be the next day, in truth, but I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, it's the next day. Tomatoes came in that day. It took pretty much the entire day to get all the stuff harvested and the water changed over and all that. I did have a spill right here. The water hit, and it wiped away the pumpkins that I had placed, because I did the water, last, and it also wiped away some of the corn. So I just replaced that with pumpkins and replaced all these pumpkins. We are now out of, I think, totally out of pumpkin seeds. I believe so. I think. Let me go double check, because I got to go drop these seeds off, these onion ones. Because onions came in as well. So, big harvest. But we did make back, like, all the money that we spent, just about, on metals. Oh, how did this end up in here? Alright, now let's go see how our constantan and our electrum is coming along. Okay. All that is done, which I did spread it out across these furnaces a little bit. There we go. And I need to get this constantan turned over into plates. So let's go get that running at least. And I should have quite a bit of steel that's built up. And we're going to be using that to make our thermoelectric stuff. Okay, yeah, constantan's not used as by itself as anything. It's only used in, like, plate form. Okay, there's 46 steel. That's a good starting point, I'd say. Okay, and then while that stuff's crafting up, one other thing that I'm going to need quite a bit of is the MV capacitor. Well, not quite a bit of. A few of. We're going to be using MV capacitors, so that's electrum, lead, blocks of redstone, treated wood, and iron, which I have tons and tons of redstone. Because we haven't really been using redstone all that much. I've been doing a lot of mining to offset our coal usage, but redstone's just kind of been building up. So, I decided to go with MV for that. And we've got plenty of treated wood planks. And this is part of where my design change came in. Because I'm going to use capacitors to transfer power instead of using wires. I was originally planning on wires, but I had to change that slightly. So, just because it'll look better. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but I don't mind. This isn't like, after immersive engineering, it's not like I need all these resources for something else. So, we're going to go ahead and get, let's see, it's 6 high where we're at, so we'll go ahead and get 12 to start with. 12 MV capacitors. And then let me go ahead and just, let's see, this stuff that's left. I definitely made a lot more electrum than I need, but that's fine because I'll need it later. I've still got to do 12 more MV capacitors, in addition to other things. And then the thermoelectric generator. It's just constantan plates and then our copper coil blocks. And let me also go grab our ice blocks, our packed ice. Now, one thing to note is ice and packed ice produce actually the same amount. Like, they're equally as cold. So, if you put them with, like, uranium, they're going to produce the same amount, regardless of if it's ice or packed ice. But, of course, packed ice doesn't melt like ice does, which is good. It's our fortune pick. I need our silk touch pick. Let me go ahead and just... Actually, I'm just going to use this one. Oh, whoops. Okay, so there's another 16 packed ice, in addition to what we have, I think, 10 up there. So we'll be alright on that for a minute. And there are 60 constantan plates, which is a good starting point on those as well. Okay, and we'll just pop up to the factory, and then I need the... Let's see. I'm going to need the copper coil blocks. Thermoelectric generators, there's 12 of those. So let's go ahead and get started on this. And I should have gotten, let's see, I should have got some sort of like cobblestone. Let me go grab storage building. We'll grab a bit of that. Okay. It's a nice thing about having a lot of money in this pack though, because we can do like big setups like this without like, you know, I bought a stack of uranium block. Well, I bought 9 stacks of uranium ingots. Didn't really bother me, like as far as the money that I was blowing through right there, because it was just like, okay, like we'll make it back. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to set up our MV capacitors, and these are going to make up the center of our setup more or less. And what we'll do is we're going to go through and just right click each of these sides and say blue, which is of course our input, and then this top face we're going to say that's output side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to right click the bottom of this and say this is blue, and then what we can do is just pull it back up and we can set it down, and it saves its settings. And then we're going to say each of these faces is blue. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have our MV capacitors feed up. So this one's going to feed into this one, and this one's going to feed into this one, and so on. And MV power is enough to transmit all these setups. Let me actually 2, 3, 4. Just go ahead and do that. Do these stack if they're configured? Yes, if they're configured the exact same, they will stack. So then that one's going to set right there. We'll change that to orange. That one's going to set there. We'll change that to orange. We'll go ahead and set these faces to blue. Orange, and then last one, and we'll change that to orange. Okay, and then we just have to go through and set all these faces to blue, and we'll have the first set of our capacitors filled in. And since these are MV, I mean, these things move like over 2,000 RF per tick, no problem. Like MV power is like 2,000 RF a tick, or IF per tick, but you know, same thing. Which is going to be plenty for a single setup. I mean, like I said, each one of these thermoelectric generators don't produce a ton of power on their own, but together they produce a decent amount. And then I just have to make, for this bottom section, I just have to make 12 more capacitors. And then if we do an upstairs, I'm not for sure if I'm going to do the upstairs, probably. Because then I can have like the power storage area like in front of it, and or maybe even like down here, in fact. Because what I'm going to do is, like, this is going to be 6 high, and then it's going to stop. And then between the floor is going to be where we move the power. Because we do have that what, 3... Yeah, 3 wide, 1 between the ceiling and the floor of the next floor that we can use for moving that power. So, okay, so our first 12 MV capacitors are set up. And then what we're going to do is our thermoelectric generators. We're just going to run these up. Oh, I need to go make more of these. Oh, yeah, but I'm waiting on the Constantine, right? Is that what I'm short on, or is it steel? I think it's Constantine. Yeah, it's Constantine. But kind of steel too, because I'm kind of low on steel also. Okay, so our thermoelectric setups, we're just going to have these setting like straight up like that. Then we'll do 6 over here. Man, these things, I'm not going to have nearly enough steel for all this right now. But that's fine. I mean, it's going to be easy to just add on to this as we go. And then what we'll do is we'll put the ice on the outer side. Just packed ice right down through there. And then this side we'll kind of make these mirror each other. So we'll do packed ice down this side. And then uranium down this side, and uranium down this side. So if you take a look at that top MV capacitor, you can see the IF/RF is building up fairly quickly inside of that, right? Like, we're generating a decent amount, and that's only a fourth of a full setup right now. Okay. So it's going to be a lot of power, especially if we do a second floor. And keep in mind, that's only one setup. There's 2, 3, 4 per little area. So, and from the front, I mean, they look all right in this little area. It's kind of like blocked off. Hey, pig, what are you doing up here? You need to get out of here. Originally, I was going to have the wires actually sticking out and running up, but I think the capacitors looks better. And yeah, and originally I thought about glassing this in, and I played around with architecture blocks or architecture craft, all kinds of stuff, but I think I like this the most. I think I like this design the most. And so then what we'll do is, like, of course, each one of these thermoelectric generators has to have the ice and the uranium on each side of it. So then we'll just go to the opposite side, right across from it, and do like the uranium across from that. And then right over here we'll do ice and ice. And then we'll run our uranium up. So there we go. And then I'm going to put uranium, 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 and then we'll have like packed ice, and so on. And I guess I can go ahead and run these up. Okay, so we got 16 uranium left, and if I set up the second floor, we'll have some uranium left over for that. So there we go. And then I really need more thermoelectric generators for this. I can't wait till we actually start getting to use this stuff, which we're probably going to start using this power next episode. We're going to do some actual setups inside of our factory, which is going to be fun. I'm just debating with myself what setups I want to start with. So, wow, we're not going to have nearly enough Constantine. I need a bunch more of that. I also want to get like steel production, kind of start moving towards automating that. And like creosote, make a tank for that. Like little things like that I'd like to get into as well here like very, very soon. So let's go ahead and grab that. Stores are closed. I can't go buy nickel and copper right now, but that's fine. I'm also going to need more copper coil blocks for sure. Is there any way to turn this into steel? I don't think so. No, I mean I could make reinforced blast bricks, but I'm going to wait till, I mean we're going to need them to make the arc furnace, but I'm just not that worried about making the improved blast furnace. I just don't feel like it's worth the cost, particularly. I mean, I know it's part of the components to make the arc furnace, but... Okay, so there's another 4 of those, and let's pop up here. Yeah, see, I mean, these are already filling up, like, like really, really fast. Yeah, we're going to need some really dense power storage is what we're going to have, because, I mean, like, this is already just about filled, and it's not even running at full capacity right now. So, because each of these are producing, like, each thermoelectric generator is producing, like, 21 RF per tick. So, let's see, altogether, you're looking at, like, 504 RF per tick per setup. So, altogether, what, 2016 RF per tick per room? And then if we double it up here, you know, double that. I mean, it's a decent amount of power. Because, I mean, you're looking at 4,032 RF per tick if we have both these rooms running, which is enough to run a lot of things off of, considering the machines and stuff that we have available to us. So I think it'll be a good start on power. I've just got to get more steel built up, which is going to take a little while, which means I'll probably stop using steel on the exterior for right now, and then I'll pick back up once our steel problems are gone, which about that time is probably going to be about the time we start working towards the arc furnace, because we're going to be putting that into here. Honestly, we'll probably be working on arc furnace in the next couple days. So I might actually save that steel sheet metal and go ahead and make the improved blast bricks. Or I'll wait. I already turned it, but I can turn it back into steel plates, so that's not a problem. So we may use that for the improved blast furnace actually, and then upgrade to the arc furnace. Okay, I went ahead and I bought the stuff for making more Constantine. I bought like a stack and 22 nickel and another stack of copper, and I have that running right now producing, well, it's producing the grit, and then we'll turn it into Constantine. And I also went ahead and crafted our other 12 MV capacitors, so that's done. The MV capacitors are in place. I need to make a little bit more packed ice, and then I need to make quite a bit more thermoelectric generators to bring this setup around. But you'll notice these capacitors are filled. So, and it's making a decent buffer, like that one's filled, that one's filled. These right here are backing up. I think that's going to be kind of nice, and we will do a little bit more stuff inside of there. I think it'll look better once we have the roof on as well. Which actually, I was originally thinking of doing steel on the roof up there for that section. It's not going to be steel all the way through the factory, but that section up there, I was planning on steel sheet metal. So I'll tell you what. This might be a bad idea, but I want to get the roof on this, in fact. And a lot of this stuff we're going to be able to cut out, like right there. We're not going to have it. And, I mean, I guess really, you know what I could do? In truth, I could do chisels and bits and make it go really far, but I think what I'm going to do is do just slabs. And we'll just place slabs out. And we still have 22. I need a little bit more steel sheet metal for the improved blast furnace now, but that's okay. I think it's a worthy use of our steel sheet metal. So that's what it looks like on the inside as of right now. And I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. And then I may do some stuff around the packed ice, like, or around this, to kind of add like a little bit of framing. But I know this central block is going to change. I'm just not for sure if I want to do like a glowstone or if I want to do something in there. I'm not 100% sure. What do I have blindness? Oh, it's a bug. Okay. But I do think that looks all right for right now. Technically, I could change these bricks, but I actually think I like these bricks being here because this is, you know, this is part of the building, and this isn't like a reactor necessarily, so I don't feel like it needs like reactor style protection. It just needs like, you know, don't step in here because it's like electricity. This is what it is, but it's not going to hurt like the side of the building or anything like that. So I think that looks pretty good. And then we also have all these bricks, right? So I do want to use these things up today since we have them available to us. Where's my chisel? And like I said, I decided today, since we're doing mainly progression, we are doing a little bit of building today, but it was mainly progression. I decided I would do like more like the Staxel method, and you guys can let me know if you like it or you don't like it. Give me some input on it. If you'd rather see more narrated building in this pack or not, which that actually has to be shifted over. We'll do that later. I actually want to bring this around like that. Okay, go ahead and get the frame. Oops. Go ahead and get the frame of this wall in. Which actually, this right here needs to get shifted over. And this. See, there's so much stuff I have to shift right here. Move that right there. We'll set that steel sheet metal in right there. Because I want all this to line up with the supports all the way across. And then we're going to have that door setting right over here, right? So, oh yeah, all this stuff has to get shifted. Okay, so the door is going to get shifted over to there. Okay, I think that'll work. And then I'll have like a little bit shorter of a segment here. It's only going to have 3 windows as opposed to 4. Not all that much shorter. And then right in here we'll have, had a zombie break a torch there. And then we'll have like 2 windows, and then on this side we'll have 2 windows. And then everything should be on track then. After that. So then we can bring that up. And I'm just kind of bringing this wall up. You guys have seen what I'm doing here. With the narrated building, I tend to cut out like redundant things, but we talk about like what all we're doing. And like I said, I know it's popular in Staxel. I don't know how you guys feel about it here. If you prefer like the faster building. I know some people don't like the faster building. And I've tried to get like a camera mod running with this pack, but they tend to act up in my experience. Whoops. And so I haven't been able to get those working. And I was trying to find something as like an alternative to necessarily the speed building, because I know it's like really fast. It's like 4 times speed running through as we build. So I was trying to find some kind of an alternative to that. So if you guys like the just narrated building, we can do that. Which I know this episode we haven't got a ton of building done necessarily because... But I mean, the main reason we haven't done a ton of building is this has mainly been progression-y type episode. As opposed to just a building episode. But I don't have any more glass up here. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and grab all of, or at least most of this stuff. There's a zombie baby pig. I know the next few episodes are going to be more progression than they are going to be building, because we're going to be working on some of the factory interior stuff over the next few episodes, so we may do a little bit of narrated building within the episodes, just so it all meshes together a bit better. But let me know down in the comments what you guys, just your feelings on it and some input on it, if you like the narrated building more so than the speed building, kind of going over what we're working on and stuff like that. Because we might change it up. We'll see what everybody thinks. But anyways, this is going to be very much a work in progress. Just this first floor, getting all the thermoelectric generators all the way around. Actually, probably the next ones I put in will be back here just to get this power line running. Even though, in truth, we're not going to need this much power for a little while. So, but next episode, we're going to start working on some of the stuff within the factory that, that's why we started with power today, so that we have the power up here to utilize for setting up some of the stuff in the factory. We may start getting into an arc furnace. We are going to get into probably external heaters, so we have some furnaces up here. And I'll probably end up setting up furnaces down in the workshop with external heaters, as well as in the mine with external heaters as we get the power ran around the town and everything more. But next episode, we may look into getting an arc furnace. I tell you what, probably, I'm debating between, there's 3 different things I'm debating between. Either starting the cobble works, starting the tree farm, or boosting up coal coke and steel production. So we might look at the steel production first because it's hard to move forward with a lot of the other stuff until we have more steel coming in, especially the build itself. We need a lot more steel. So we may look at setting up our automated coke ovens and our automated, as well as our tanks for storing creosote, and start moving into that side of automation first, the steel automation. And then we're also going to automate treated wood and some things like that before too long. Once we get the tree farm up and running, and once we get I'm super excited about it. Once we get the tree farm up and running, and once we have the steel production up and running, we are going to automate treated wood. So that way we don't ever have to manually make that stuff, and we'll have a use for our creosote as well, in the process. So we'll start getting into that stuff next episode. Like I said, probably the steel, and then we'll kind of build out from there. Because I will say that we're going to be working in the factory probably the majority of the rest of the year. In the factory, around the factory, speed building the factory, or narrated building the factory. Corn is in. Okay. Fine. Fun times. So, that's the current plan right now. Let me know, once again, let me know in the comments if you guys like the narrative building more than the speed building, and what you guys think about it. And, yeah. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. Figure we come up here, just say goodbye, and then I'll go harvest corn. So, until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.